Good evening. I'm the Fit Lawyer ATL, and we are live. Y'all got a double header tonight. I was live at 2, and if you missed checking that out, go back and watch it. It was an amazing live on immigration. We talked about the immigration law, had 3 amazing immigration attorneys in Atlanta, and we just got into it. Everything about immigration. So if you missed that live, go back and tune in. As you're coming into the room, hit the like button, please. So Diddy has new victims. The government's unsealed a superseding indictment. Now, I didn't think this was coming down to like March. I knew that it was happening because if you all remember, at the press conference, they said that the grand jury was still impaneled. Hey, Harriet, come on into the room. Welcome, welcome. So at that time, we knew that new charges, additional charges were going to be coming down, right? They said the grand jury was going to be impaneled and they were going to stay impaneled. And whenever that occurs, the grand jury, they're the ones that actually bring the charges. The state, the government in this case, presents the charges, allegations, evidence to the grand jury, and they're the ones that return the indictment. So they have been impaneled and stayed impaneled. So we kind of suspected that new charges would come down. So new charges have not, but victims have been added. So now we get an S. The S that we keep on hearing about, we finally got some people with that. So is y'all coming on in? Good evening. Nikki's News on Narcissism is in here. Who is a member? Shout out. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikki. Galatians 6-7 is in the house. Says, hello, the Fit Lawyer. Also a member in the house. Look at all our members coming in. Mixed Chicks in the building. Hey, the Fit Lawyer ATL. What's up, Mixed Chick? I missed you. Hey, everyone. Kia Elder 305 says, hello, Fit. Come on in the room. Riri Carter says, good evening, the Fit Lawyer. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. All members in the house. I love it. Be sure you hit the like button on the way in. So as I was saying, the superseding indictment, that's what additional indictment that adds allegations or victims or charges are called, is out. It was sealed, but now it's unsealed, and we have it. We will be discussing that tonight. And y'all remember the last live I did on Diddy, we were talking about his attorneys still fighting. Well, the one, they were fighting to get the freak off tapes, right? The order's out. The judge says no. So the judge issued an order. Diddy cannot get the freak off tapes yet. The judge said that the government has given several different ways that Diddy's attorneys can get greater access to the video, and that they should go back and revisit those. And if they're not able to work that out, holler back at me. But basically, no, I'm not turning over the tapes right now. So that's a no-go. Second thing was the affidavit. Remember, the investigator and a prosecutor, an attorney, whichever one from the government side, was going to have to turn over affidavit to explain how they got a hold of Diddy's notes and all of that stuff from his cell, right? And so they turned over that affidavit. We're not going to go through that because I want to get through this new indictment. But the affidavit from the investigator was sealed, so still don't know what that says. And the affidavit from the government was filed, and they're kind of still going back and forth on that. I think the Diddy's attorneys are going to file something today about that, so I'll address that on the next update. But the tea tonight is this this indictment. Okay, this superseding indictment that I actually printed off and laid next to the other indictment to see exactly what was different, what was going on, because the government did file a letter that kind of said, hey, these are the changes, but there were a couple that were left off. So I want to make sure that I cover everything that was added, and some additional allegations. Allegedly, let me be clear, because some of y'all Diddy fans was coming for me on the first Diddy live. Talking about, how you saying he guilty, Fit? You a lawyer, you know better. I'm like, I mean, we saw the tape. I was talking about the tape we saw. But allegedly, he's hanging people off balconies. Y'all remember that movie? What was it like? Was that Five Heartbeats or Temptations where the guy hung the guy off the balcony and was like, my business hours are 9 to 5? That's the first thing I thought about when I saw that. No, Kia, no freak out tapes for Diddy. Not right now. They just gonna have to tell him what it looks like. But he know, right? Because he on them, so he remember what he did. He remember what he did. But yeah, hanging people over the balcony. I'm like, yeah, Big Red. That's what I thought about. BB Bonet 77 says Big Red. Yes, thank you. Big Red. He hung him over the balcony. This is exactly what I thought, y'all. So we're gonna start calling Diddy Big Red Jr. Hanging people over the balcony. Like Diddy is off the chain, and they had expanded the years. So the first indictment, the time frame was 08 to, it said still continuing. Now we're at 2004. So they went back some. So we're gonna get into that. Galatians 6:7. Thank you. I'm liking your hair, sis. Thank you, sissy. It's all bouncy and flowy and stuff once it's washed. So whenever y'all see me on here and the curls are like stuck and they just kind of like, not float, it's time to get it washed. So I got that done last week. So thank you, sis. Yes, the 5 heartbeats. I wasn't sure if it was the 5 heartbeats of the Temptations, but I do remember that scene. So thank you, Kia, because that's Diddy out here showing out. So we gonna look. I ain't gonna waste none of y'all time. We're gonna get right into this. I got my other screens up and ready. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, the whole indictment is long. We're not gonna read all that. I'm gonna give y'all the juicy parts. I'm gonna give you the parts that have changed, and we're gonna talk about the additions, the new victims, new allegations, new drugs allegedly that were involved. Oh, it's a lot. Like I just, we're gonna get into it. Then, go put a poll up at the end and we'll see what y'all think. Y'all think y'all think this is it, or y'all think maybe he has a chance. So let's see. Let me get this share right. Oh, y'all, in the home studio is almost done. I have to hook up 2 monitors and I figured out how to do that. So I'm really hoping the next time I go live could be from home. I got the sound machine, I got my buzzer hooked up, I got my mic, I got the camera, everything. So I'm really hoping I'll be able to go live from the house. But like you want to have everything right. Like I don't want to, do it too soon. And yeah, no, I gotta have it. Gotta have it right for y'all. All right. So we are sharing this superseding indictment. All right, y'all ready to get into this? Yes, I love how many members in the house. All right, so 32 watching this live. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button so I can get into the algorithm. All right. So the first thing that they updated on this superseding indictment is going to come in the overview section. And the overview section was really just them going through explaining who Diddy was, talking about all his names, and talking about the company. And I don't know, and I pointed this out. So Section 3 here was the first time that a change was made. And what they did here was, I wrote here, y'all, they removed the word highly orchestrated. So I'm just going to read this paragraph. So it says, at all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs and all his other names, the defendant engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in orchestrated performances of sexual activity with Combs and at times with Combs and male commercial sex workers. So this was the first thing they changed. Now, I wrote the word highly above orchestrated because they removed that word. And I was like, why did you remove highly orchestrated? Is that going towards the fact that maybe some of it's consensual? I mean, I just thought that was weird because highly orchestrated means that you're in control, you're the puppet master, but now it's not highly orchestrated, just orchestrated. So did you just make the call and set it up? It's like, are we bagging off or something? I didn't get that part. And then they added in Combs in this section and at times with him and male sex workers, because originally it just said male sex workers there. So that was the one change they made there. Here they added in some wording in section 4, says on numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. Combs's violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. So Diddy was fighting employees? Like he had violence. This says that among other things, striking, punching, dragging, and throwing objects and kicking them. And that it wasn't limited to the women, but extended to his employees. I'm sorry. I don't care nothing about a job to allow my employer to do anything physical to me, but give me a high five on the way out the door, a pat on the back, good job. Like, who really is going to continue to work for somebody that put their hands on them? They witnessed his abuse, of course. They witnessed it, right? Cassie in her lawsuit made allegations that he would do stuff to her on the floor at Bad Boy, right? So we know that they witnessed it, but when I saw extended to his employees, like you getting physical with the employees, but you know what? You know what? Okay, so at first I'm thinking like maybe that's a stretch, but y'all remember that show, Making the Band? Did y'all watch that when it was on? Yes, for always, forever. Yay! I don't know if you got the notifications, y'all. She done missed like every last live. Always never gets her notification. So I'm glad you're here. But y'all remember Making the Band? Remember Lorianne? And it was an episode or something where I guess Lorianne did her own thing and Diddy came in and he threw a chair at her. Like that probably was a common occurrence, but I just don't. I guess you just kind of want to work for somebody that's that's famous or whatever. You'll put up with some shit. But it's some stuff I would never put up with. Throwing chairs and kicking and all that stuff at people. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, Mixed Chick said they went there. You remember that episode? Because one of the guys from Boys to Men or something was on that episode as well. Anyway, it was a mess. It was a mess. But let me get back. All right, so let me finish this sentence. So on one occasion, it talks about, the video we all saw at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported. Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. We've all seen that video, and that was Cassie. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Y'all, we about to get the amount, because I always heard one amount, but we got the real deal. Surveillance subsequently, Combs, with the assistance of several close associates, paid hotel security staff $100,000 for the hotel surveillance footage of the assault. $100,000. And see, that's the problem with Diddy. And that's why people, when they're like, oh, why didn't somebody say something before? Or why didn't you just call the police? This is a man that can just pay $100,000 and a video of him kicking Cassie's behind in the hallway is gone. Yes, Miss CDB, we got 2 for 1 in one day. Yes, I had to give it to y'all when I saw this Diddy update. 100,000, y'all. You just throwing money away. $100,000 could take care of the rest of my student loans and my car loan. Yeah. Well, like if somebody offered me $100,000 to get rid of a video, I'm getting rid of it. Especially when in the time of the moment the person returned back to it, they probably looking like, well, Cassie came back, so just pay me the money and I'll just, we'll keep it. They never knew that fast forward to 2024, Diddy was going to be indicted under federal charges. That's crazy, 100,000. And then it was a small change here in Section 5. Talks about the defendant used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his acts of violence. That was added, abuse and commercial sex. Those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Combs' intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the business. So that's kind of how they're going to get into the whole racketeering charge, is that the employees, they use the business to commit these offenses. So while this indictment makes some changes here, and we're going to really get into some additional allegations soon, it didn't add any additional charges. So he's still only charged with 3 charges, and that is the racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and violating the Mann Act, which prohibits transporting someone across state lines for the purpose of prostitution. So no new charges added yet, but there are additional victims. Allegedly, maybe says grossest of gross. Yeah, it is. Oh, okay. Oh, Jason says, okay, cool. Thank you, Kat and Jason, for letting people know to come over for the live. I appreciate that. But yeah, this is just the allegations are gross. So as I stated, remember beginning it was 08 to 2024. They have extended the year back to 2004. And I'm thinking that they're doing this, and because we never know, right? Because this case is sealed, all the evidence is sealed, but they expanded the time and added victims. So the 2 additional victims that they added must, I'm going to assume, have allegations that go back to 2004, and that is why they are expanding the time. But they would have to have evidence within that time period to edit. So that is probably why they have extended that. So that was the only change there. See a question. Oh yeah, we're going to get into that as we get into the additional allegations. The question was, can you explain what or how this affects him in his case now? So yep, that's what we're going to be getting into. African D says, hey, fit lawyer, I just sent you love. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, you made it. You made it. Sexy incomplete. Oh, I like that. Sexy incomplete. All right, welcome. So let me scroll down. So now we got to really get into the biggest section where changes were made, and that was section 12, the means and method of the enterprise. So this is going to get into all of the grimy, dirty stuff that y'all have been hearing and the rumors of the baby oil. So we're going to get into it and the additional things that were added. Okay. So among the means and methods by which Sean Combs, the defendant, and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the enterprise, that was like, what? Okay, yeah, I don't even know what all that. In the what? In the where to? Okay, we're gonna start with the juice. Section A. Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs's role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs's orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims. So this is where they're adding the additional victims. Victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3. So this is sealed now as far as the evidence. So they're not going to put their names, but this is for the first time we actually see in the indictment additional victims. Include these additional victims to engage in commercial sex acts. In connection with the commercial sex acts, Combs provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. Some of the commercial sex acts involved male commercial sex workers and were referred to by Combs as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of other members and associates of the Combs' enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. What y'all thinking? I Am Shout says, if he gets away with this, I will lose all faith in the court. So you thinking they got enough to get him? He will lose all faith if Diddy gets off. What are y'all thinking? Lynetta Jackson says, I was watching your video from earlier today and had to stop so I could catch the live. Yes, welcome. the video she was referring to, y'all, we did an amazing live earlier with three immigration attorneys, and it was amazing. So if you missed that, go back and check it out. But yes, sexy, incomplete, just sick. The allegations are, they are, and like that was just section B. I even haven't finished section B, and we got all the way to I in this section. So this is gonna lay out all the nastiness in the dirt. Okay, so I'm gonna get back into it. Let me get back into it. These allegations, and just like these people dealt with this for years. And if Cassie had never gotten the courage to file her lawsuit, this would be saying past 2024, because what would stop anything, right? Always, forever, for always, forever, for life says, I believe it. I know it sounds convincing. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. And I'm not laughing because I'm laughing at like just the extreme. That's extreme. Like Diddy, and see, when you have a lot of money, power, and control, you can take things to, there's no limit, right? Whatever your fantasy is, whatever you want to indulge in, who is going to tell you no when you're paying $100,000 to get rid of security videos from the hotel? Allegedly, Maybe says we should support every project Cassie has. Show her as much independent love as possible. She deserves more than she's ever gotten. Yeah. And we all remember Cassie first came out. I can't remember the name of her first song. I know Miss CDB does. This is my bestie that is the R&B guru. So she knows all things music, but it was so promising. Right now, we're not saying she came out like Beyonce and nothing like that, but Cassie had a nice voice. She could sing. She was beautiful. It was catchy, poppy. We were feeling it. And Diddy just took it to a new level. Dub, right side. What's up, Dub? I haven't seen you in a long time. Happy New Year. Diddy took rehydrating to a new level. Yes, right? Like, how I haven't, we all have had our fun, right? We've all had our little sex episodes and all that kind of stuff, but I have never experienced anything that I needed more than like a Gatorade for. Just some water from that. Boo, can you bring back some water from downstairs? Like a whole IV? What the heck were they doing? And you see it said it lasts for days sometimes, right? Like, what kind of exertion do you need an IV from? Well, I guess if you're doing drugs and all of this, right? Who administered the IVs? Healthcare? Yeah, you had a little paid nurse. Had a little nurse on the or somebody that runs clinics. They have a lot of those clinics set up now where you can go in and get like B12 shots and stuff like that for energy. So probably somebody from one of those places that just made calls. Yeah, me and you. That's it. Me and you. Cassie, she had a promising career. Diddy signed her to like a 10-year record deal, which is unheard of. Locked her down for 10 years and basically just to abuse her and use her. African D says, but I really thought the new evidence and indictment would have been stronger, honestly. I'm hoping it's enough to keep him where he is, but I'm hoping that evidence is really strong. Yeah, and the thing is, African D, when you have a case where all the evidence is sealed, we don't know. All we get to see is the indictment that has some redactions. We get to read the filings that they file in court that sometimes will slip in some evidence, and we can kind of see what's being said there, but not until May 5th. Well, they got to do jury selection first and all of that stuff, but the trial starts May 5th. It's expected to last 4 weeks. Not until that time will we actually know what the real evidence is. We won't know what's on those tapes that they got out of his house. We won't know what exactly is on the freak-off tapes. This trial will not be televised because they don't allow that in federal court. So we're just going to have to wait and hear back from people that are there on scene to report back to us what the evidence actually is. But I did expect a lot more, but it's like they're just sticking in a line here and a line there. They added a couple of new drugs here and stuff like that. But it wasn't like I thought it was going to be a new indictment with new people. Diddy, it was going to be new defendants. Let's name all these other people that helped him. Unless they're cooperating, then they wouldn't name them, because you can have what's called unindicted co-conspirators. And so when he's charged with a RICO, which says that people were using, some employees and stuff were using the business to commit these crimes. They may never list those people, but they are what's called unindicted co-conspirators. Like you were involved in this, and we know it, but you're cooperating with us, so we're not going to indict you, but you're involved. R. Kelly had a lot of that in his case. So there are people that, and some of those people may get jail time. We just may not hear about it or know about it because, as I said, they'll be unindicted co-conspirators. So when the trial comes, we will see. Allegedly, maybe says, but feds got a solid 95%. They do, but that also encompasses a lot of pleas. So some people get scared when the feds come. So everybody don't have Diddy money. So not everybody can fight federal charges. So yes, they scare you. They come, they have all their I's dotted, T's crossed, and yes, they have a high conviction rate. But I believe I heard the conviction rate is like 83% or something like that when people actually go to trial. So they don't, some people do beat federal charges. Most recently, the old DA from Fulton County, Paul Howard, had some federal charges that he represented himself in and beat, but it was a weak case. But so it does happen. No, Doug Rightside says we're not getting any names, no Epstein names now, no Diddy names. The court is for the people, supposedly, right? They keeping everything secret. But if he makes it to trial, because Epstein did not, then we can actually hopefully maybe hear some stuff. Maybe, I mean, stuff is gonna come out at trial, right? We're gonna hear some stuff at the trial. Diddy's going to trial, so we definitely will get into that and see. Yeah, African D says I'm expecting other defendants to be added too. He didn't do this alone, but I get it. Unindicted co-conspirators not being admitted. Yeah, that's probably more so what it is that people that were, you got to think about it now. Diddy got money. Diddy can hire the best of the best attorneys and all of that stuff. Well, somebody that's working for him that is not making as much money as he's making, maybe can't hire that good of an attorney. Maybe they can get an attorney. Maybe they're not accused of doing a lot, or maybe they come and say, look, tell us what you can and you don't go to jail. If you already know Diddy in jail, Diddy probably not getting out of jail. I'm telling, I'm not going to jail with you. Your jail experience is going to be way different than mine. So, I mean, yeah. No, can unindicted co-conspirators be brought back and indicted? You never will see that because they're going to be agreements worked out. So it's kind of like where, wow, I don't want to use this person as an example, but YSL trial, right? There's some people that testified that admitted to doing some things, but they weren't on trial with the rest of the guys. So they could get immunity for their charges, or there could be a written agreement to say, participate, and it's always an agreement. When it comes to the feds or even with the DA's office, if I'm going to give up information and you're going to not charge me, we're going to have that in writing. So it'd be something in writing, so they wouldn't go back on that. A couple times where you've seen things go back on, I never did do a live on Jussie Smollett, but we need to talk about that, how once an agreement is made, you can't go back on it. That's what happened in Bill Cosby case. They made an agreement with him that if he gave the depositions in the civil case, they wouldn't try him criminally. A new DA came, but they changed the rules, and then they took him to trial. He got convicted, but it was overturned because they had made an agreement that they would not. So even if it happens, you can still fight that if there was a legitimate agreement. Mixed Chick says, Fit Lawyer, did you watch the docuseries on ID? Natanya Rubin was on it. She completely broke down on her channel and said she is still getting threats. I have not had a chance to watch any of these docuseries, but still getting threats from Diddy and his people, and I believe that's what you're saying, and that is some of what the government was alleging, is that was occurring. Shout out K Smith. Okay, so next live, I'm gonna be home in the studio with the buzzer, and I can hit it because this is buzzer worthy. Thank you so much. K Smith said sent a $50 super chat and says, "Great show today with the immigration attorneys. I think some people are in denial of the domino effect some of these changes will eventually have." Yes, and that's so true because it's going to affect more than just the illegal immigrants, because as we discussed on that show, there was a family from Puerto Rico that was speaking Spanish, and the ICE officers picked them up and detained them, and they're from Puerto Rico, which unlike Trump knew was part of America, so they're American citizens. So that type of thing is happening because, as Trump says, he can just look and tell, which is just the most ridiculous thing ever. Fit is over here working on her Spanish, Buenas noches, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm out here talking to you all and we talking Spanish, we can get picked up. I gotta show my papers. It's really sad. So thank you so much for that, K. Schmidt. I really appreciate that $50 super chat. The immigration show today was amazing. So if you missed it, y'all, tune in. It was awesome. I had 3 great immigration attorneys here from Atlanta. It was great. Shout out Kay Smith. Thank you so much. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Yes. So yes, that show is worth watching. But yeah, this whole Diddy thing is crazy. But when y'all bless me like this, I don't want to waste any more time. I'm gonna get right back into the content. So let me go right back into reading this new indictment. And we left off about the IV fluids. So Section C, members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, and personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated the freak-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with the required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. What? Cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for victims, commercial sex workers, and Combs to and from freak-offs, resupplying Combs with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the commercial sex workers, and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. You saying right here, I was like, room damage? What the room damage? What is going on? What is going on? Nee says, love the Falcons. Yes, these Outcast hoodies they came out with are so cute. But yes, room damage. That was this. What room damage did they have from having sex? And what all were they doing? Why did they need? Did y'all freak off supplies? So like, y'all know how artists have writers where they're hired to do a concert and they send their writer that says, I want, brown M&Ms. I want this to drink. Diddy got a whole freak off writer. So it's spelled out freak off supplies. And they know to go get these things for the freak off. Allegedly maybe says, never going to those hotels again, right? Isn't that crazy? And so y'all do remember from Cassie's lawsuit in that video how when he was dragging her down the hall, I was like, where's everybody? Allegedly he rents the entire floor when he goes to a hotel so that when he has his freak offs and all of this stuff, is no disturbance. He's not disturbing anybody. Nobody's disturbing him. He can kick your ass in the hallway. Nobody can save you. Nobody's going to run out and see it because he has the entire floor. So, but what, y'all, this is a lot. Arbell sends a $2 super chat. Shout out, Arbell. Based on your expertise, are they grasping with Diddy? No, we saw the video. We saw the video. So we definitely saw the video. We saw what happened with Cassie and Cassie's lawsuit. Like, I really believe everything Cassie alleged in her lawsuit, and Diddy kind of makes it hard for you not to believe it when he paid the demands less than 24 hours that the lawsuit came out. And so she made a lot of these allegations in her lawsuit. So they're bringing criminal charges. So I don't think they're reaching now as far as the RICO and the cross state lines for prostitution. I want to see more evidence of that, because if it's commercial sex workers, that's what they do, right? I mean, they're not, you're not holding them at force or trafficking them if I'm having sex willingly. So I don't know the whole RICO part. That's the thing. We're not going to be able to know any of that until the trial start. But yes, he rented the entire floor. The entire floor. That's so scary. That's why no one was out there on the Cassie video. We saw the video. Like, anybody, y'all know those first rooms by the elevator, they would have heard all of that. I would have been peeking out my door. Now, I don't know if I would have opened the door, but I definitely would have been in the peephole being nosy. See who fighting. Y'all know, like, I used to stay in an apartment complex back. And people used to get to arguing in the parking lot. Y'all, I would be all on my floor by the window, like peeking through the blinds, being nosy, ear hustling, looking like people nosy. So if somebody else was on that floor, they would have came out. And guys would have never let a woman get beat like that. They would have came out and tried to do something. So yeah, he gets the whole floor so he can, do what he wants to do. So that's Diddy. But being his employee, like, how could you imagine like working for this person? Like, you telling your mom, you so excited, like, oh mom, I'm working for Combs, I'm working for Diddy, I got an intern. Your mom like, what you gotta do? Buy baby oil and take IV fluids to the room. We gotta go clean the hotel room up after the freak out. Like, what? That is crazy. So I just couldn't even imagine. And people used to, like, they went on TV to try to work with Diddy. Like, everybody used to want to work with him. Diddy was like your way into this industry. This is kind of crazy. This is a lot. All right, so I'm gonna get back. We're on section D, y'all. I said we got to go to I. Okay. Other commercial sex acts involves only Combs and a female victim. As with freak-offs, other members and associates of the Combs enterprise assisted with arrangements for these commercial sex acts, including by arranging travel and accommodation for victims. At times, Combs, with the assistance of other members and associates of the enterprise, transported and caused to be transported victims across state lines and internationally in connection with the commercial sex acts. Like the freak-offs, the commercial sex acts involving Combs and a female victim were prearranged, sometimes lasted multiple days, were sometimes electronically recorded by Combs, and often involved Combs distributing a variety of controlled substances to the victims, in part to keep the victim obedient and compliant. So y'all remember we were talking last time that Cassie had turned over the freak-off tapes, and how Diddy's attorneys were saying she looked like she was enjoying it, consensual. I feel like they're really trying to respond to that by, making the allegations that the drugs they were under is what was keeping them obedient and compliant. So where Diddy describes it as consensual, they're saying no, they're drugs. And if you're drugged, you can't consent because you're not in your right mind. So I guess that's where the government is going there. Section E, Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs and other commercial sex acts. Combs maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career and financial opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. During and separate from freak-offs and other commercial sex acts, Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, through Objects Act and dragged victims at times by their hair. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Following the assaults, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the enterprise, frequently worked to conceal his misconduct by offering to provide medical assistance or other financial benefits to the victims. Okay, so what's wrong with Diddy? Like, you're a billionaire and you have to beat women to be with you? Like, is that internal? Is this some insecure? Like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, this is crazy. Like, you're a man that's worth a lot of money. Women flock to you. Enjoy them like a normal man. Why? I don't get this. African D says he is a monster for real. And he has daughters, for crying out loud. Yeah, and his latest child is a little girl. Allegedly, maybe that crap hurts. I wish I didn't know, but when you get dragged like that, you feel like you were in a car accident for weeks after. And that's why I say that it will take them weeks to heal. I just don't understand why you would treat people like this. Like, why you feel the need. Like, this is the only way you can get women to be with you. It's not, I'm not lined up to mess with Diddy, but it's a lot of women are. A lot of women still would line up to get into a Diddy party, hang out with Diddy. You're almost a billionaire. So why do you have to treat people like medical records? To see what? Because you're the one that's, I don't know, to make sure they didn't get anything from. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Is it worth it? Like, if you're 18, 19 and you want to get into the music industry, could you see yourself doing, like, letting this stuff happen to you for so long? And I know abuse is not necessarily always a let something happen and people can be manipulated, but I know in Cassie's lawsuit, she talked about times where she would go to her parents' house and her mom would beg her to leave and she would just go back. Yeah, allegedly, maybe it's a control thing. That is this is a lot. Diddy was doing the most. That I feel so bad for them. This is, if this is true, because this is allegedly, they be coming for me. Let me make sure I say allegedly. All of this stuff is what Tasha K say, even my name is allegedly, okay? Allegedly. But Jesus, if this stuff is real, if this stuff is true, this is horrible. Combs also threatened victims. Oh, I'm not sharing it back. Let me go back. I jump right back into it. Okay, we're back at section F. Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted engaging in sex acts with Combs, and at times with Combs and male commercial sex workers. Victims believed they could not refuse Combs' demands without risking their financial or job security or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating records that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. All about control, just like allegedly maybe said. All about control. G, members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including Combs' security personnel, at times carry firearms. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with the face serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine. Section H, and this is when we get into the new things that have been added. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise enabled Combs' control over victims by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victims' career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances that Combs used to keep the victims compliant. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise at times witnessed Combs' violence towards the victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of the Combs enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, assisting Combs in monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations such as hotels or residences. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries. Someone just said about how it could take 3 to 4 weeks for your body to get back to feeling normal. And if what he's doing is causing bruises, of course he can't beat Cassie up and then the next day take it to a red carpet with a black eye. To recover from injuries Combs inflicted without being publicly observed. Members and associates of the enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. So that speaks to everybody who says, why didn't Cassie just leave? She did try to leave. She left several times and he would just send people to bring her back. And so when you're dealing with somebody with that much control, you never feel like you can get away. Never feel like you can get away. Some of the other lawsuits that have been filed, there have been allegations that police officers in LA actually changed the facts in a police report at Combs' direction. So you just don't feel safe. If he has the police on payroll, why do I even pick up the phone and call him, right? When employees, witnesses to his abuse, or others threaten Combs' authority or reputation, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, and verbal abuse. These acts of violence included arson and multiple acts of kidnapping, including one instance of kidnapping during which Combs carried and displayed a firearm. In addition, on multiple occasions, Combs threw both objects and people. Did y'all hear me? It said he threw objects and people. Did he throwing people? As well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. On one occasion, Combs dangled a victim over an apartment balcony. Y'all, who the hell was Diddy throwing? Throwing people? Like throwing objects and people. And the person that he hung over the balcony, the name has not been put in. It's one of the victims that's been added. But allegations online speculate that that person is, let me get this name, Brianna Bagalan. She filed a lawsuit alleging that she was asleep in Cassie's apartment when Diddy arrived, banged on the door. Once inside, he grabbed and held her over the banister. So I don't know if that's the same person. I don't know if it's a different person. So that's allegedly, but holding them over the apartment balcony, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And I remember it was a girl that was in Cassie's lawsuit, and I can't remember her name, but she was a friend of Cassie's, and I think it was the day that it was Cassie's birthday, and she was back at her apartment and wanted to just kind of chill, and then he came over and was basically forcing her to come back with him to a freak off, and that friend was trying to get her to, let her know she didn't have to go, but I think he did something to her, but he ended up paying her off as well, giving her money for whatever he did to her. So those are allegations in the lawsuit. Yeah, it was to get at Cassie. Like, she was trying to protect Cassie, and this is what he does to her to get at Cassie. Telling them people he would drop them over the back. Like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's somebody that you're not even dealing with. So you're not my man. You're not somebody I mess with, and you're doing this to me. So it's like it's no ends to it, no bounds to who he'll do something to, allegedly. Jay, when Combs' authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity, or legal or law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023, following public allegations of Combs's crimes. Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs's crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. I wonder, do they have allegedly they have these recordings. So that's not good if they have recordings of you that you're actually telling people to give false narratives so that it protects you. If I hear that in a trial, the juror, my is he guilty button is going to go towards that way. Like, why? Because why else would I need a false narrative? If the truth is the truth, then and you didn't do it, they can just tell the truth. But the point that you're asking people to lie and they have you on tape. And I don't know if y'all heard the allegations that allegedly the Danny Kane member, Dawn, was that her name, Dawn, the one that filed the lawsuit, and the other one was saying it didn't happen, but allegedly he paid her to say that Dawn was lying in her lawsuit. So it's no reason for you to cover up anything if you didn't do anything. So that's all I got to say. Innocent people aren't covering up anything. They're not making up stories. So that doesn't look good, Diddy. The racketeering conspiracy, and the only change in this section, y'all, I told you they took the years from 2008, they backed it up to 2004, which leads me to believe one of the 2 victims that were added must have some allegations against him from those earlier time periods. But this is what I wanted to show, though. So remember they talked about that kidnapping? All right, so in this section, they kind of talk about how, like, these are federal cases, but they talk about how these allegations could meet some criminal statutes in some states, right? So originally, when it came to the kidnapping, they just had California listed. They added New York, y'all. So I'm not sure who he allegedly kidnapped in California, but there are allegations that there was kidnapping in New York as well. Aiding, abetting, and conspiracy. So that's something that's added, not a new charge, but new allegation, which you like, well, what's the difference? Well, the charge is like the formal racketeering, sex trafficking, but under racketeering, there are allegations of things that the enterprise did. And so these are the additional, that's the difference between the charge and the allegation in this case. That was pretty much all that was added there. In section H here, so they listed multiple offenses involving drugs that he would give to the girls. They added to the list of drugs, which originally only included cocaine, oxycodone, alprazolam, amphetamine, I don't know how to pronounce that word, and then methamphetamine, something else, gamma hydroxy butyric acid, ketamine, psilocin, and methamphetamine. The psilocin, isn't that the mushrooms? Is that, or the psilocin? What's psilocin? PSILOCYN. What drug is that? Oh, okay, yeah, the mushrooms. So they were doing the psychedelic mushrooms. Well, he was giving the victims allegedly the psychedelic mushrooms. So that was added there. The victim, so transportation to engage in prostitution. He also, D Woods. So let me get it right. So D Woods was the one in that group that filed the lawsuit, and then the other girl was saying that it did, right? It's the group I'm talking about the group where it was 2 people in Diddy. I can't remember the name of that group, but though it was one of those girls so not the Danny Kane, the whole group, but when they broke off and it was like 2 of them in Diddy, those 2 girls. So one of them filed a lawsuit, and then the other one was saying that the girl was lying, but allegedly Diddy paid her to say that. So in count 3, when it talks about the transportation to engage, Dirty Money, yes, that was the group, Dirty Money. Yeah, the chat is like, y'all like Chat GPT. Put the question out there, the chat coming up. Somebody in the chat know the answer. I love it. Yes, Dirty Money. So that group, the girl that was in Dirty Money, that's right. So that's the group I was talking about. So in the transportation to engage in prostitution, so the allegation is that from at least in or about 2009 up into and including in or about 2024. So like this stuff was still going on. Allegedly in New York, the defendant knowingly transported individuals in interstate and foreign commerce with the intent that the individuals engage in prostitution and attempted, aided, and abetted and willfully caused the same, to wit, Combs transported, aided, and abetted, willfully caused the transportation of female victims, including but not limited to victim 1, 2, and 3. So these are the three victims' allegations that he transported them to engage in prostitution. I don't understand that though, because prostitution means you're having sex for money. And the victim 1, 2, and 3 includes Cassie and allegedly some other girls. Are they trying to say like he was paying Cassie for sex? And she's a part. See, these are these are the parts of the indictment that made people start feeling like, what is just consensual sex? How are you making it be prostitution if they were willing to engage in sex? I don't know. I guess I don't know. We'll find out May 5th when the trial starts. So I believe that was the last of the changes. So no names. We don't get any names. No names. We don't get any, but we do actually get a victim 1, a victim 2, and a victim 3. So there have been additional victims added. So eventually they're going to have to be revealed and we'll know who they are. Yes. Oh, did some of the boys file lawsuits that went away to day 26? I'm not sure if anybody from day 26 filed. Man, y'all remember that? That was a good group. Like Diddy actually did put out some good groups. He just did dirty business. So they didn't, become millionaires and blossom and grow. But man, but Aubrey from Danny Kane, she been saying Aubrey has been trying to tell everybody about Diddy since she got in the group. So she did not sign her NDA when it came time to get her royalties, allegedly, so that she could be able to speak out. She has never been quiet about how he treated them and the monster that he allegedly was to them. So, y'all, this is a lot. That's a lot. So I know a lot of people some people were like, what is he charged with? What exactly is it? So we took some time, talk about the actual allegations, talk about the additional victims, added no new charges, but new allegations. Literally held somebody over the balcony. That's a lot. Oh, so okay, so now that I'm finished sharing that, we are going to, y'all, I'm gonna try to do my first poll. We're gonna try to do a poll before y'all leave me. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see. Okay, I know I gotta come over here. How can I do a poll? Start a poll. All right. What y'all think? I'll make it easy, right? So I have to type too many words. Y'all think Diddy guilty or not guilty? We'll start the poll. Did it work? Did the poll pop up, y'all? What do y'all think? Guilty or not guilty? Did the poll pop up? Let me get the poll up. Do y'all see the poll? Yes. Oh, wait a minute. It's like 100% guilty. Okay. Let's keep voting for a little while. Y'all don't need any time. Y'all over here like Brian Steele. I don't need 5 more minutes. I don't need 5 more minutes, Judge. He's guilty. Y'all remember that episode of Martin? When he was up there trying to try the case himself, and the jury, they didn't even leave the box. They were like, Judge, we decided like 4 hours ago. Y'all, is that how the jury is going to be in this case? I don't know. Like, I'm just really excited to get to the evidence. That's what I want to see. Like, I really wish we could have seen Far Ways Forever. Like said, yeah, we all voted guilty. Oh, I see. Is that 90%? We got 10% not guilty. So, ooh, dang, Gina. Somebody holding out. And that's what happened. Oh, it's down to 9%. Y'all change your minds. Somebody changed their vote. But that's what it is with a jury. You never know. But you never know. I'm not gonna, y'all came for me too hard in my comments. I woke up the next day and I was ready to fight some of y'all. So allegedly, I don't know if he's guilty or not. We haven't seen any evidence except the Cassie taking him to the hotel. So if that is one of the charges, definitely he's guilty of that because there's no explanation for that. He definitely was beating and dragging Cassie down the hall. Nothing about that can be consensual. Okay. So yeah, that's crazy. Y'all beating employees, throwing people, like he threw objects and people. Like Diddy ain't all that big like that. Like who he picking up? And then y'all know what I always think when I hear additional allegations or anything about this case. Was Young Miami going through any of this? What y'all think? 10% was an accident. Right, because now it's down to 8. So, but yeah, like, do y'all think Young Miami went through any of this? Because if he's still doing these allegedly 2024, they're dating up until when he got locked up in September of 2024. What y'all think? I don't know. Galatians 6:7 says it's too much stacked against him. Okay, it sounds like it, but it was a lot stacked against Thug and the YSL allegedly prior to trial starting, and then shit went downhill. Because I was listening to those bond hearings like, y'all, I don't think Thug coming home. I said, they can prove what they're alleging at these bond hearings. He ain't coming home. And we see what happened in that case. Thug is at home. Yeah, Trakisha McNeil says, Young Miami is the she. Said no, but I don't believe her. I know. I mean, like, for always Forever for Life says Young Miami was helping him, in my opinion. You think helping him in what way? Like get victims, cover stuff up? You think, but Young Miami's out there buying baby oil? But they did say his that alleged drug supplier that was stopped and taken the same day his houses were searched was supposed to be the person that brought them allegedly like pink cocaine or something. I don't know. Allegedly maybe says just nope, nobody was with him for anything but clout, but that ain't the way. Yeah, I mean, and I guess, when you're in that industry, you're famous, you're Diddy, you kind of don't know if people really with you because they want to be with you or whatever, but does that make you treat them like this? And it's like, when would had Cassie not filed her lawsuit, freak offs would still be happening? Baby oil still be bought and stacked up? Like, how long was this gonna go on? Like, was Diddy still gonna be like, he's 57, I think, 57. Was Diddy gonna be 65, still doing freak offs? To where people gotta come in and clean up the hotel room before the actual cleaning crew comes in? What from Deja Monet says, who was on our last live? Thank you, sis, and was sticking up for me when somebody was over there hating. Says Miami lives by the code of silence. Hopefully she can get justice also. Not if she's silent. My dad used to always tell me the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So you gotta talk up if she wants some justice. Allegedly maybe says he doesn't possess any redeeming qualities. Cassie had to blow the whistle. I'm telling y'all, I really think what led to her blowing the whistle was, well, probably what was added it or the straw was him thanking her at that award show for being that by his side through some of the darkest times. Like, I'm married at home with my babies, my kids, my husband, and you know what type of monster you were to me. Leave me the hell alone. And the fact that that was the opening of her lawsuit, I really feel like that kind of was like, she was going through therapy, she was writing her book, she was getting everything out, so she was gaining courage, and that probably was just it. It was like, I'm sick of him. Like, stop mentioning, stop taking that control over me, stop saying things that you know that only you and I know how they're triggering and affecting me. Maybe that's what gave her courage. I don't know. Y'all think she'll ever do like a tell-all interview or something? Wouldn't that be amazing? Kathy, sit down with the fit lawyer and talk to me. Boo, talk to me. Let's talk. I want to hear from her. Like when this is all said and done, I would love to hear from her. Tell it all. Because we're filling in what we think. I really want to hear from her on this. Yeah. She was like, you're still doing it. And so here we go. Jay Monet says, we see those 80-year-old Amber Crombie seals just got taken down. So yeah, he would have kept going. Yeah. Isn't that disgusting? Ugh. It's like with all this medication out these days, the honey packs and the Cialis and the Viagra, they can just keep going, right? Keep making babies. You said a little baby, she like 1 or something, 2. Yeah, ridiculous, creepy. Lynetta Jackson, shout out Miss Jackson. Exactly, he was creepy AF at the award show. Yes, it was creepy because it was out of nowhere, like Lifetime and then to see all of this now and to see her lawsuit and just go back to that moment. Go back to a lot of moments. There are a lot of moments that they have been replaying, like him, I think it was something in the 90s or early 2000s where he invited this little 13-year-old girl to an after party. I mean, it was on stage at the award show. You need to come to the after party, like. And then you fast forward to the day and you're like, oh, why were you inviting that 13-year-old girl to the after party? Like, oh, Galatians 6:7 says, what gets me is the more I watch people content and them showing videos of all the footage that was recorded of the things he done and said, and they didn't bother to get him back years ago. No, just like R. Kelly. We heard stories of R. Kelly for years. R. Kelly went to trial, won, came home and made a new tape with a young girl watching the tape from the first trial. Like, these people been doing this stuff for years. But it's because Galatians is because he can pay $100,000 allegedly to hotel security to get the videos. So people aren't messing up their bread and butter because he's the money man. He's the water. So nobody wants to cut their water off. So people will sit there and watch it. Y'all know how it is. People will be around, watch it. They'll leave and they'll go home and talk about him and say, Diddy's, man, that's so sick. Man, he did this to this girl. I can't believe she keeps that, and go right back to work the next day. Go right back to work the next day. It happens every day with Diddy and other people as well. The world stopped. I remember feeling how gross that felt. He ate it in a bedroom voice too, which I must have missed the other one. To know what that was going with. Yeah, J Tell says Young Miami is like the girl who stuck with R. Kelly. Yeah, what was there? The two of them. Remember they went on the interview together? Oh God, I was so wrapped up in that crap when it was going on, watching everything, following them on Instagram. What is that girl's name? Yes, but the same thing is like caught up in his spell. I saw one video that was going around, and it may be in a documentary that has come out on Diddy, but it was a young girl and she's sitting on a stool and talking about one of her experiences at the party and how one of the sons gave her some shoes or something, like the little stuff you put over your shoes, and that's what okayed you to walk into the house. And she was all excited and she walked to the house, and then she just described what she saw when she walked into the party. But she said that Diddy was trying to seduce her, and she felt like she had read the Art of Seduction, and she felt like that is how he is, how he looks at you, the eyes, like trying to seduce her from the minute she was talking to him. So yeah, seems to be allegedly a mastermind. I mean, it's going on for years. Yes, Joycelyn Savage and Azriel. Oh my goodness. Wasn't that crazy? That was so sad. But it was like really never knew what was going on because the family was looking for her. Like it was like a whole docu-series, like a whole soap opera with the dad going to Chicago, screaming out, saying, Azriel, come out. You know, it was just so crazy. But she's only with him because y'all took her to the concert. Y'all gave it to R. Kelly because he was going to teach her how to sing. That whole thing was crazy, but it just shows you how you can get caught up in celebrity. Caught up on want to get put on, and then you get your ass caught up in some shit you can't get out. And now stuck. and now years lost of being with an abuser. So yeah. Yeah. Seeing his shadow doing their interviews, yeah, because he'd be in the room trying to tell them what to do, saying cut when someone was going somewhere he didn't want to come out. But look at Diddy, same thing, getting their medical records, tracking everything. Like the fact that somebody get your medical records, so somebody's violating HIPAA for him. So when you know that you're messing with somebody that is in that powerful to where they can break HIPAA laws, they can get police reports changed, you feel stuck. This is Chelsea Lynn. He says, this an Atlanta NFL sweatshirt? It is. So they came out with the Outcast shirt with the Falcons. I am a season ticket holder for the Falcons. Okay, Dirty Birds, like 11 years, going to my 12th season. So I love football. I'm a girl raised in the South, so I've been going to football games since my brother was 60 pounds. I don't know what age that was, but that's when he started playing football as a 60 pounder. So that was every Saturday. So I love football. So yes, this is a Falcons sweatshirt. Yeah, so that was it, guys. That was the new indictment. Yes, knee rise up. So yes, that was it, y'all. So what's up next? So this new indictment coming down, the judge already said, the government even said, we already gave over all the evidence because discovery was due by December 31st. So they already gave evidence of victim 2 and 3. So Diddy and his team have been aware of these additional victims and additional allegations. So it's not going to slow the trial down or change anything. They're still pushing forward to May 5th. So there are no delays there. We will keep you updated as things come down. Yeah, this they getting into it. They get into it. So I see what Saints ain't what? Yeah, you told it right, me. Them ain'ts. Like the Falcons so petty, y'all. The Falcons, when we play the Saints at home in Atlanta, they don't even put up the Saints name in the stadium. Nowhere in the stadium. We call them visitors, okay? Visitors. That is what the Falcons do when we play the Saints. We call them visitors. Okay. So hello, Althea Parker. Thanks for being here. Visitor. Just playing. Chelsea Lynn NC says, did you see where Don from Danity Kane came out in an interview? I have not watched. Somebody texted me earlier today about a documentary that Diddy has. I think it's on Peacock or something. I got to catch up on all of those documentaries. So I have not seen that yet. So got to get caught up on that. Y'all, it's hard. Look, I'm still working, still in court. I had court all this week, working on motions, trying to keep my ear to this ASAP Rocky trial. That's like my cousin Vinny. That trial is hilarious. So it's just a lot. So no, I got to catch up on that stuff. So I will be catching it up. Althea Parker says, yes, it's so much fun when we play, y'all. It is. And I always come to New Orleans for the game. So maybe one day I can see you, but it's a lot of fun. So yes, the Peacock, that's what somebody texted me today about the Peacock doc. So I am going to check that out this weekend. So y'all check that out. No, Trakisha said it was Snooze, not the one on Peacock. Is that the one? Because I ain't trying to fall asleep. I need some excitement. So yes, Leslie Baby says yes, so we can discuss it in the chat. Okay, so we're gonna all go watch the Peacock. Please tell me this is not the one, Trakisha, that you said that's a snooze, because I don't want to see anything boring. So we can come back and discuss that documentary. I'm gonna go see if I can learn some new stuff, hear some new stuff, y'all. And I can't wait until this trial starts. I cannot wait. So there's a lot for us to go catch up on. So I'm not gonna keep y'all too much longer. This is the second live today. Can y'all believe it? Look, like Fit ain't been here in a week and a half and came back with 2 lives on Friday. So go check out the immigration live. Share it with anyone you know that owns a business, that lives in America, that speaks Spanish. It was just very informative. I learned a lot on that live, so I know you all will as well. And we answered some questions. Yes, for always, forever, for life. That ASAP Rocky trial is ridiculous. I know that the prosecutors are kicking their suitcases all the way down the hallway as they go home today, because their star witness is a mess. He is a mess. So Yeah, we're gonna talk once that's all over. We'll just kind of get into it and talk about it, see how it plays out. Because I'm really curious to see, right? Because I was really shocked to hear that Rocky would put the gun in his hands. Then you hear the video with the gunshot. So, but it's a starter pistol. But I think they're probably hoping that the jury hates the victim so much that yes, ASAP really is unhinged. So hopefully they hate him enough to where, despite hearing 2 gunshots on the video, they're going to believe Rocky that this was a starter pistol that they're not going to produce. So I got an issue with that. But the victim is just so bad. He's horrible. But y'all, why is the judge so cranky and the attorneys are like, isn't it? Rocky and really like the only black people in the courtroom. It's just so weird. I guess that's what LA County. It's just so weird. It's almost like OJ trial. It's really weird. Like just watching that trial every day, it makes it feel like we're watching like 1985 trial. It just is weird. So we're gonna see how that turns out. Really oh, you saw really trying to pull a Woody. I don't recall. Nobody can do Woody like Woody, okay? Woody was amazing. Like he was hilarious naturally. Like he wasn't even trying to be funny. They my shoulders. Woody, he gave us some classics like that we'll have forever. He probably is going to be the most entertaining witness in criminal justice history ever because and he wasn't even trying to be. So funny. Oh, Chelsea Lynn NC, the studio is coming along great. I got everything set up. I hit a snag because I have 2 additional monitors that I'm trying to put on TV stands, and the Versa mount that I bought didn't match the screen. So I kind of got to figure that out. So I figured out a workaround. So I'm gonna get that stuff straight this weekend and go live because I'm ready to start hearing some sounds. Like I want to hit my buzzer. You know what I'm saying? I want to be at home so I can go live whenever. So I have to be at the office and do all that stuff. So it is coming. Everything is set up except those 2 monitors. I'm going home tonight to play with it. And yeah, hopefully the next time y'all see me live, I'll be at home. Now I might not have nothing behind me on the wall, so don't y'all come on there talking shit. It might be a white wall behind me, okay? But look, all that equipment in that studio is gonna be hooked up and good. So we'll get the white wall, we'll get the wall, we'll get something behind me in a minute. But yeah. Chelsea Lynn says Woody took better special education classes than Relly, and that's saying something. Yeah, Relly was the times I peeked in, like I was watching Millionaire Males live earlier when she was covering the trial, and it's just I know as an attorney, the prosecutors are not pleased. Okay. It's almost like with defense attorneys, when you prep your client and it's like you need them to testify because you're arguing self-defense or you're arguing a defense that you need them to explain, and you prep and prep and prep, and they open their mouth and you're like, fool, you going to jail. Like, shit, fuck it. I tried. Where did it come from? Right. That is not, he didn't even want to prep with him. And then he's arguing with the defense attorneys. He's arguing back like, you making that up. Where you get that from? Why you ask? Yeah, objection, irrelevant. That's irrelevant. I don't even know why you asking me that. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? I have no clue. Really is a mess. Y'all was up there talking about Meg the Stallion line. Nah, y'all got selective outrage. Y'all got selective outrage because the world came out against Meg the Stallion. But y'all ain't said nothing about Really, okay? Because that boy lying about the knuckles and all of this stuff. What? A hot mess. A hot mess. Lynetta Jackson says, Fit, did you go out in the snow? Fit did not. Okay. I look, I can't be falling. I'm over 40. Any fall over 40, it can be dangerous. So no, I did not. I did the second time it snowed. I had to stop by the store on the way from the office. So I went to Kroger. Y'all came out Kroger slipping and sliding across the parking lot. I was so nervous. I was like, Lord, please don't let me fall. Falling over 40 is dangerous. Okay. So nah, I've seen snow before. I've had my play in the snow days back in college. So the great snowstorm of what was it, 98, 99. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Maybe when I get some kids, I go out and play with them, But nah, I looked at it. But yeah, over 40 falling. No, right. Allegedly maybe said off-right city, okay? It's raining now, and my left knee is locking up, okay? And I'm like, man, like, when is this gonna end? So yeah, no. Shay Monet said, you sound like Lee, because I'm over 40. Lee 40, I think what, 47? I'm 45. Yeah, because we over 40. Shit. Falling over 40, it's like you lay here, you like, okay, let me wiggle my toes. Sometimes my mom calls me in the morning and I'll answer and I'm still in the bed and she'd be like, how you feeling? I'm like, I don't know, I ain't got up yet. I don't know if anything broke overnight or if anything hurting. So I mean my eyes open, the Lord woke me up, but you know, I ain't got up yet. So allegedly maybe says if you're 43, but you take plus 50 vitamins just trying to get ahead, okay? Get some extra zinc and some extra stuff so we can prevent that osteoporosis and stuff, right? Yes, look, over 40 is different. Look, Jakeisha trying to laugh. Okay, here go Miss Up North. The snow in the South is hilarious. Y'all can't, we cannot. We cannot. We can't. I was talking to a potential client the day it was gonna snow. I was like, yeah, come on, wrap this up because we gotta get out of this office because it's about to snow. She was like, that's just a mess. Y'all down here, y'all don't understand why y'all don't buy all those trucks. Because then we would spend $50 million on snow trucks. And then we've been on the news because we wasted $50 million because it doesn't snow again for the next 10 years. So that's why we don't have it and not ready for it because it never happens. It never happens. And Chelsea Lynn NC says, I got to see if I snap Uncle Pop when I stand up first. Yeah, right. It's different. And I work out and it still does not matter. Like if I sit down too long in my office desk, I can't just stand up and run and chase somebody. I got to stand up a minute and stretch everything out. Then I can take off. I'm like, Lord, what could we have done when we were younger to prevent this? Was this all that dropping it like we was high and stuff? Because y'all remember when we was little, if you're in the 40s, these kids today, y'all go to the club too cute. We used to go to the club in Reeboks. And we used to be standing on top of our head, dancing, dropping it like it's hot, busting splits, doing what we doing too much. Because, like, now the kids, they dance like little TikTok dances. It's all like waist up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not moving nothing. Waist up. Boy, we used to be scrubbing the ground. Right? We was scrubbing the ground. Is that why our bones are so messed up now? I don't know. Because I don't have no Meg knees. But we was doing all of that back in the day, right? No more Meg knees. So back in the day, we used to leave the club sweating, hair be gone. And because we was all wearing natural hair. Hair be sweated out. We got dance routines. We didn't practice. We got routines together that we bust out on our favorite songs. Like these kids, they don't even understand. They do not even understand. Yes, doing the Tootsie Roll, all of that stuff. We used to go to the skating rink because I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama, and I moved to Atlanta when I was 14. But in Birmingham, we used to go to the skating rink, and that thing would, after like 9 or 10, they would turn your skates in, and the dance floor turn into a dance. You see people flying in the air over here dancing, and the girl come back down and drop the split and do. Like, we used to go to the club and go out dancing. These kids now, they too cute. They too cute. Chelsea Lynn NC says Tia Mowry posted a reel that was like what I did in my 20s versus now. Taking vitamins, applying oils, and all the things. Yes, because as soon as I get off with y'all, I'm gonna go home, roll my hair up, chill. I gotta do my workout today, but my body hurts so bad from the workout yesterday that today is gonna be yoga. Okay, it's gonna be yoga because I need to stretch it out. Yes, Bankhead bounce. Yes, at the Cascade. Yes, all of that. Y'all remember the bounce? I'm a little too old for the bounce. However, I had a girlfriend who had a younger sister. So I'll never forget. I think it was like her 18th birthday. And so we might have been like 21 or 22. But she couldn't go nowhere but the bounce. So we went to the bounce. Y'all, I'm bougie, okay? So I'm urban influenced. I'm not hood, okay? In the sense of, I was raised in the suburbs, that kind of stuff, right? So while I have friends from Bankhead and I like to go hang over there, I ain't really about that life like that. So I'm all coming in there cute. I got my boots on. They like knee-high boots. They like suede boots or whatever. I got my little purse. Y'all, I had just went to MAC that day. I had my new MAC press powder. I had my MAC lipstick, my MAC lip liner. Y'all know MAC is expensive, okay? So I done spent like $75 in MAC, right? So we cute. We get to the door and they checking my purse, and the lady was like, "Oh, you can't bring this comb in." I was like, "Excuse me, I can't bring my plastic rat tail comb in? Do I need to be going somewhere if I can't take my goddamn comb in?" Like, what? That was sign number one when I couldn't take my comb in. We should have turned around and went back home, but no. We going into the bounce. I'm with it. Okay, I'm cool. I'm on the west side. Okay, let's go. That should have been sign number one. Come in, we chilling, all cute. Y'all, we over here all chilling on the side. Why somebody got to fighting? And why are they fighting coming towards me? I was like, oh. So I'm ducking down like this. I felt like every time I ran away, they were on my back, right? So I'm like, oh my God. So I run. So now they didn't knock my purse off my shoulder, right? MAC makeup all over the club. Yes, my chestnut brown liner, my lips, my deep dark block powder all over the club. Guess what I did? I went to security and said, "I need my stuff. I need a flashlight. I need y'all to go help me find my MAC. It costs too much money. Leave it here without my MAC makeup. I should have never came over here to the west side. Let me go back to the east side. We know how to act." I was so mad. But my behind was up in the bounce, making the security look for my damn MAC. Leaving without my MAC makeup. Dead ass. It's when you know you're too bougie to be somewhere. Like, I shouldn't even been over there. Like, man, what? So yes, those are the good old days. These kids these days, they ain't gonna know nothing about them old club days. Man, we used to have a good time. But yes, all over the floor. So I'm fussing at security. You know, they don't know what I'm talking about. I was like, my MAC makeup, I need my, I was like, lip liner, $20. This is $26. I need all my shit. I should have never came in when y'all took my comb. I should have known. But yes, these kids, we had a good time back in the day, y'all. We had a great time back in the day. All right, y'all. Look, y'all didn't talk. We done got all off. I love it. Wait till I get my studio. I'm just gonna pop up all night. We just gonna start. We gonna be talking about whatever. All right. Well, it has been amazing, y'all. Thank you. Shout out to all of the members. Y'all were the first ones coming in. Member. I love it. Thank you so much for the support. Shout out to Kay Smith. Send a $50 super chat. Talking about the live we did earlier today. If you missed it, please go check it out. I had 3 amazing attorneys, Kamala Sessoms, Judge Bando, and Judith Montgomery, amazing immigration attorneys from Atlanta. They were advising us about our rights and all of the new immigration changes that our new president has put in place, and how even if you're American, you can be detained if you're out speaking Spanish, because that's what's happening now with these ICE raids. So it was very informative. Go check it out. Shout out Arbel. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much, y'all, for the likes on the live, for showing up tonight twice with me, hanging out, tripping out, talking about Diddy. So much fun. See, Miss CDB says we had fun and still went to church. Okay, amen. So yes. Thank you all so much. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Sis says she's gonna get us membership to support her ATL people. Yes. So thank you so much. Yes, Arbel, you the best. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for all the love and support. This has not been legal advice. I am not your attorney. I will see you in court.